Hey, are you in a space where you feel um, overwhelmed and maybe even stuck when it comes to life and or your career? If so, you want to watch this entire video, and I'm not going to make it too long, I promise. But you want to watch this because what I'm going to share with you is how you got here, why you're probably still in that space, and I'm going to give you some free game on how to get out of it. If you happen to be watching this on the replay, do me a favor and type replay in the chat, in the comments, and I'll come back through and show you some love. If you are here with me live, do me a favor and say hey in the chat, hey D, whatever you want to say, drop a fire emoji, whatever your favorite emoji of the day is. Um, or drop me a line in the comments and say hey so that I know that you are here with me as well. And if for some reason you are here and you don't know who I am, it's okay. We won't be strangers but for another second. I am known socially as Danielle, the coach. I am a certified life and executive coach for founders, CEOs, and employed entrepreneurs. And I help you create your corporate exit strategy, put that thing in motion. And then on the flip side of that, I help you balance the demands of life, leadership, and full time entrepreneurship. It's a lot. I know it, which is why I'm here, locked in tow with you to support you to it and through it, right? So now let's talk about being overwhelmed and stuck and like how you even got here. If you found yourself in that space, um, do me a favor in the comments. I don't care if you're here with me live or watching the replay. Just type "I feel you" in the comments or in the chat, wherever or however you may be watching this, right? Just to let me know, like if you know that what I'm talking about, like in this space of feeling like I'm used to moving and shaking. I'm used to, you know, handling business, taking names while I'm at it and living to tell about it. I am used to moving to the beat of my own drum. I'm used to solving all the problems. I'm used to getting any job done, and even the challenging ones, right? I'm used to being the go to. I'm used to being able to resolve whatever the problem of the day may be, right? But for some reason in this season, I'm unable to solve my own problem. I'm unable to figure out how to get myself out of what feels like this quicksand of life and or career, right? And you feel stuck and you feel like with each passing moment and with each day you just getting pulled further and further and further into like this black hole, and it's getting more feeling more and more grave and drab by the day. I don't spend too much time percolating in that kind of space just because my energy ain't set up for that, right? I have to move in a more optimistic and positive thinking manner, like for my sanity. But I say that in saying, like, I understand what it's like to be there. I understand what it feels like when you feel I understand what it feels like to be in a space where you feel like you're grasping like at straws and nothing that you do seems to be able to support you enough to pull you up out of this space, this sunken space or place, and out of this proverbial quicksand that I talked about, right? And so, what I also know, having lived it and gotten several t shirts and mugs to show for it, is that when you're in this space where you feel overwhelmed and you feel stuck, and you're just like, who am I? How did I get here? What's the quickest way for me to exit stage left without turning my life upside down for my sanity's sake? Like, sign me up, get me the help that I need, get me the answers, please, now and thank you, right? I know what it's like to be there. And what I learned coming out of it and also serving my clients who are often in that same space at different times, of course, because everybody's journey is different, is that, especially for my career professionals, there comes a time when we hit what I've dubbed the mid career crisis. And I do talk about it in my Amazon best-selling book, The Six Figure Quitter, which is the entrepreneur's guide to transitioning out of your 9 to 5 without regret. And I talk in detail about this phenomenon that I call the mid-career crisis is when you've been moving and shaking and climbing the chain and getting all the accolades and having all of the career professional experience, and you look up and you got decades in the game doing work that you have studied long and hard for, amassed all these student loans for, got all these degrees for, and have the work experience to go along with it. And then one day you wake up and it's like, how did I even get here? Right. And it seems like a rhetorical question because on the surface it is. We know how you got there, right? It was by design, it was intentional. But the how did I get here is more so in questioning, like, how did I get here emotionally and spiritually, right? Because there's something in there that you're now experiencing that doesn't sit well with you. You're unsettled, you're unfulfilled, you're unhappy. So how do we get rid of the un? The first thing is to call a thing a thing. Like, in order to be able to take dominion over a thing, you got to be able to look it in the face and call a thing a thing. And so what I know for me, right, and those that are divinely assigned to me, I know that purpose is at play. And why you're stuck is probably because your purpose is at bay. It's no longer at play. And so that takes me into what I wanted to share with you about, like, why you probably are in this space of feeling stuck, right? You're overwhelmed with like life and career. Everybody's pissing you off, right? Your boss is like crazy. If you're in a leadership position, like, your team is like for the most part holding you down, but then you probably have some detractors or some vice or some force that is constantly challenging you in ways that in this season you just have no desire to be challenged. And not that you can't handle it, but it's unnecessary roughness. And you're wondering, like, well, like, what is it, me? Am I losing my mind? Like, did I wake up on the wrong side of the bed? And when you start to really pull back the layers and look at what's going on, you'll recognize that, like, while you may not be perfect, it's not you. It's not you that is causing the mayhem, the discomfort, and the dissension outside looking in, right? But if we look at this thing from the inside looking out, it's all you. And let me tell you why. One is because it's a chance that you are very likely out of alignment with your purpose, the reason why you were created. And let me give this disclaimer, which I give every time I speak about purpose. And it's that this is what I know to be true, is that we don't, and what I believe, right, is that we don't have, like, our life has an overarching purpose. If you think about it like an umbrella, right? There's the purpose. But underneath that umbrella, there are off downshoots, right? And those downshoots are various purpose assignments that you have throughout the course of your life, which all have a common theme and thread, which is why it falls under your umbrella. But you don't have just one purpose. You don't have just one purpose assignment. You have many. And what's happening, I'm willing to bet what's happening is that you are out of alignment with your purpose. And if you have not gone on your own personal purpose journey to get in touch with your creator and understand why you are here to begin with, then it's easy to understand why you might be out of touch with your purpose and out of alignment with your purpose in the first place. Then, coupled with that, is you may be in the know when it comes to your purpose. You may have already uncovered, several rocks and figured out, like, why you are here in the first place. And what purpose sometimes will do is you'll find yourself um, showing up in spaces and serving others, because that's what your purpose is for. It's about somebody else. It's not about you. You might enjoy it, but your purpose is about serving other people, right? With your God-given talents and gifts. And the beautiful thing about it is that you get to like and love what you were created to do, right? you get to like and love what you were created to do, like in purpose. So what'll happen is sometimes when we are operating in purpose, when we are fulfilling a particular purpose assignment, it feels good. We moving and shaking, we get comfortable, and then we find ourselves getting complacent. And in that complacency is where things start to get uncomfortable. There's comfort, there's complacency, and then before you know it, if you're not careful, the discomfort comes. And instead of seeing and understanding what is really happening, the bigger picture that's at play, we start to um, settle for what meets the eye. And it's just like, oh, this person is doing this person is doing that. And they very well may be, but here's why. They are being used to make you uncomfortable because you have another purpose assignment that is waiting for you because you've completed the one that you were sent to the place that you're in now, that you're now uncomfortable to fulfill. There is another purpose assignment waiting for you, and you are being poked and prodded because you are not supposed to be continue to be comfortable in this space. Now you can choose to band-aid it and stay stuck and weather the storm if that is what tickles your fancy. But if you have already been on a purpose journey, or if purpose is something that you find value in, then knowing this unlocks something for you. And what I know that it unlocks is that you realize that you, like with the serenity prayer, tells us, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So it's the change the things that I can part, right? And so when you look at your stuckness, your overwhelm, your frustration, um, your angst, and you may even feel underwhelmed in some instances because you're in this space of, you know what's going on, right? You're not being challenged anymore. You've done because you did what you were supposed to do, and you have completed your prior purpose assignment, right? And so you find yourself in a space, but instead of settling for the woe is me and accepting your situation at face value, you accept the challenge to go deeper and get to the root of what's going on, but then also the resolve of what's going on as well. And so the part of the resolve is recognizing that something in you, inside you, needs to shift. And that shift starts here. It's mindset, it's the mental. And because I know that a couple years ago, I created the shift experience. It's for corporate leaders, entrepreneurs that are still gainfully employed, full-time entrepreneurs, high achievers, career professionals, high performers, go-getters, all of the above. It is created for you to help you get unstuck and back in motion. Why? Because you have purpose work to do. And if purpose is important for you, if seeing your wildest dreams come true and unfold right before your eyes, even though right now on this day you have fears and reservations and doubts, or maybe you've taken on other people's fears and reservations and doubts, I created the shift experience for you. It's for you if you know that you've been settling for less than what it is that your heart desires. If it's for you, if you have been declaring that there has got to be more to life than what I am currently experiencing right now. And you know what? I'm really doing everything in my might to figure it out. I was purposed to create this for you. The shift experience is something that I say every time that I offer it and I run it. It's something that once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? And so, what does the shift experience entail? It's us getting together over Zoom. It's a workshop for about 2.5 hours, and really pulling back the curtain and helping you to get the clarity that you need about what's next, and also mustering up the confidence to do something about it. It's not enough for you to continue to daydream, not for a go-getter, right? If you're taking a pause, if you read the book, you know what I mean by pause, resting right now, cool. But if you are ready to step into your next season in a way that you have been desiring, but not sure how to go about it, what I'm inviting you to do is take the first step and register for the shift experience. I'm going to drop the link in the comments right now. And I'll put it on the screen too. I just dropped the link in the comments. And let me put it on the screen right now too. I invite you to take the first step. There's no pre-work. All you have to do is register, secure your spot, and meet me on Zoom on Wednesday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You do that and you show up there, I got you from there. I just need you to show up for yourself. I need you to show up for your future. I need you to show up for your purpose. And I need you to show up for everything that is divinely assigned to you and for you. Whoever it is that you are here to serve in purpose, because again, our purpose is not about us, it's about what brings us joy, what we do to serve or help other people, and what our natural God-given gifts are, right? And so knowing that, and maybe this moves you or maybe it doesn't, but there are people who are waiting for you, who need what you are purposed to do. And there is an opportunity for you to give fulfillment and gratification that you don't have now because you're stuck and overwhelmed in a space that's no longer serving you. That fulfillment, that excitement, that joy, that gratification is waiting for you on the other side of your yes. And one of the things that I want to invite you to do is experience what I'm experiencing right now. I told you about my book, The Six Figure Quitter, right? Which you can get at thesixfigurequitter.com. It was a labor of love. The book had been on my conscience since I want to say like 2018. I published the book in 2024. So that's about 6 years. This book in particular had been on I had been certain about it for about 2.5 years, really three years before, 2.5, 3 years before I actually published the book. It weighed on me so heavy. Year after year, I started a new year feeling guilty about this book still not being complete. Having published the book just a few months ago and being on the receiving end of feedback from people who dove in head first, read the book within a couple weeks, within a month's time. At the time of this video, the book has only been out less than 2 months. It'll be actually 2 months on the day of the shift experience, right? And there are several people who've read it, who've given feedback, who've left reviews, who've sent me private messages and let me know how the book has certain my words. That a lot of it was God given through experiences that I recounted, and also messages that I'm supposed to give those who are supposed to read the book. Everybody's not supposed to read the book. But for those who are supposed to read the book, there is something about it that that tugs at them, that weighs on them to buy it. And then when they buy it, maybe they don't pick it up right away, but there is something about it that continues to call at them and catch their attention because they're supposed to read it. And when they do, that is purpose in motion. All because I was obedient, even though it took brute force and willpower for me to get it done. even though I had to hype myself up most days to work out the kinks and figure out what exactly, what am I supposed to say here? Like, what am I supposed to, um, what does my reader need to know? What do they need to move through? And so that was purpose work. And so knowing that there are people right now, there were people at the time that I was launching the book, there will be people years from now who need exactly what is in this book, and they'll be able to get it because I was obedient. And so here's what I want to tell you about that though. Like, yes, I was obedient. It took me 2.5 years. I feel like it took me too long. But I also learned on the back end of it, like the book was still being written in real time as I was still writing it, if that makes sense. Like there were some things that still needed to happen that were supposed to be happen in real life that were supposed to be included in the book. So the book couldn't have been finished until those experiences had been had and concluded, and the revelations were given to me that I can then factor into the book in a way that made sense for the reader. And so I say that to say, if I hadn't taken the first step several years ago to sign up for a writer's retreat, to get the first trash draft of the book out of my system, to start the journey of writing and editing a book, to get it ultimately published one day. Back then, my ego wouldn't have been able to handle somebody telling me this book ain't going to be published for 2.5 years. I would have flipped my wig. But that's exactly what happened. And it ate me up every year that a new year came around and the book still was not published. And one thing that I know for sure as well, because some people have been in my email, been in my DMs, had conversations and telling me, like, man, at the end of 2024, another year has gone by and I'm still in the same place. Another year has gone by and I'm still having the same conversations with myself. They're beating themselves up like I was when it came to the book. And what I don't want for you is another year to go by and you're still in the same space. Nobody said you had to cross the finish line anytime soon, but the goal is for you to make progress. The goal is for you to not be in the same space. The goal is for you to take the next step and trust that once you take the next step, even if you don't know the next step after that, the trusting that the next step after that will be revealed when you take the first step. Sometimes you just got to take the first step and trust. And if you are courageous enough to take the first step and register for the shift experience, I got you. I got you. If you know that where you are right now is not where you desire to be, you know that there is more to this thing called life than what you are currently experiencing, I got you. You just have to register and show up for the shift experience. Again, it's taking place Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. And if I say 2024 at the beginning of anywhere in this video, forgive me. I don't think I did, but it's possible. But it's February 12th, 2025. It's 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be meeting on Zoom, and it is a workshop. So I'll need you to come prepared with your sleeves rolled up, ready to lock in with no distractions, and to give it all you've got. I promise that it's painless, but it's going to put you in a position where whatever gunk and fog that you've been trying to work through, we're clearing it out of the way. All right. Something's got to shift, and shift happens with Danielle the coach. Again, if you caught this from the replay, do me a favor and type replay in the comments. And I'll come back through and show you some love. And if you're registered, leave a comment and say that I'm registered so I can show you some extra love in the comments as well. All right. I'll see you next week.